Hello guys, so welcome back to the part 2 of episode number 56. In the previous episode, if you have not watched it, go watch. We discussed about the new team in the IPL for the upcoming season, Lucknow Super Giants. This time I got the name correct.
Mhm.
But yeah, we discussed. So today in this episode, we are going to discuss the maybe second most followed team in IPL, or maybe
Third, I think.
third after Mumbai
Third,
and
but by
Chennai.
third and fourth में बहुत gap है.
Ha, but like my second home where I used to go watch all Mumbai matches whenever they played there. So today we are discussing about Royal Challengers Bangalore. New season and new start for them after how many years of Virat Kohli as captain? 10, 12,
Ah,
9 years and
nine.
0 wins.
9 years.
Three wooden spoons, two finals.
9 years as RCB captain.
9
Finally,
Sala Cup Namde.
finally,
More wooden spoons than finals.
but
Finally, RCB.
but I can say that I was lucky enough to watch Kohli's best season as captain, as a player, live. I watched all the games at Chinnaswamy that season, and including the finals as well, where Ben Cutting absolutely smashed them apart. But whatever it is, um,
And
uh,
couldn't.
let's not
Kohli
keep
lost the
this
match
as
trying to stand
Kohli
back to
agenda, and
1,000 runs.
let's move ahead.
Back to
So
RCB.
Virat Kohli has stepped down as RCB captain, but so they have retained three players going into the mega auction. So they have retained Virat Kohli for 12 crores. They have retained
15.
15.
2 crore pay cut.
Okay, and they have retained Mohammed Siraj, and they have also retained the sensational who just matched in BBL, Glenn Maxwell as well. So
Glenn Maxwell must be the most confused person in his life. Like उसको 2 साल पहले पंजाब में 12 crore मिलते थे. He had probably like the worst season for a foreigner ever. 100 runs, 0 sixes, still less than a 100 strike rate. He got a pay raise. So उसको 12 से 15 crore मिले. Then he had a great season, almost single-handedly carried RCB at times, and somehow he got a pay deduction to 11 crore. But at
but
least he seems to have finally found a home.
yeah, so
True.
interesting. But
Looked very happy.
just my first views on those three retentions, like absolutely no brainer retention, those first three, because in
And RCB
Siraj,
actually was a surprise. They had a lot of choices. They had Chahal,
True.
Patikal, Harshal.
Harshal,
Lot of choices.
हर्षल को छोड़ो भाई.
Purple Patel.
हाँ.
But only thing I think I was surprised because the first two choices were quite obvious in Virat Kohli and Mohammed Siraj, because people might say that Maxwell might have been the second choice, but Mohammed Siraj has been exceptional with whatever he has played. The impressive, the way he was very uh, in the
Aggressive.
second half of the IPL, he was pretty good. He was swinging the ball, and unlike his previous season where he used to go for 8-9 runs and over, last season I think his
He had a
economy
good
was
day.
last season
Record.
his economy was under 8, I believe. That too, he bowled at the death overs. He bowled at the start as well.
And while Harshal was taking all the wickets, like
He was
Siraj was
creating the
like the
pressure.
more economical.
Creating the
Like
pressure,
Siraj
yeah.
was not taking wickets, so pressure सारा बना रहा था, and Harshal just got lucky because he was the more hittable bowler out of the two. तो उसको मारते मारते.
So I
Like,
think in
a
Siraj
lot
they
of
have
credit should go to Siraj for that.
they have invested in the future, looking at the future, because
And great personal relationship with Kohli as well.
Kohli.
yeah. So my first thought is absolutely amazing retentions. They might have wanted to retain maybe Chahal as well, but the thing
But
is
fine.
they might have not agreed on the money, or
Hmm.
there might be a case
Chahal
as well.
probably thought like fourth retention से ज्यादा मिल जाएगा because 6 crore देने पड़ते.
Ha. So
And RCB के लिए 9 crore का फर्क होता because if you retain four players as opposed to three, you have to pay more to the second player and the third player. So like some difference effectively they would have paid 9 for Chahal. I think maybe उनको भी
Correct.
लगा होगा that's too much, even though Chahal को directly 9 नहीं जा रहे, but that's
Yeah.
what they would have been paying.
so first thoughts, like any other thoughts on the retention, like anyone wants to add any different thoughts on what they surprised by, because Siddharth Jain is a RCB fan. So as a RCB fan, were you happy with these three
Big
detentions?
Virat Kohli fan too.
RCB fan, right? Why? I think they were smart detentions. I think the biggest call they would have to take would be to detain Padikkal or not. And obviously they
But
must
I
have
guess
offered
उसका भी
Padikkal to
वही
detain.
issue होगा 6
हाँ
करोड़
उसका
में.
उसको भी
हाँ.
100 वो I think he's uncapped, right? तो उसको 4 करोड़ में ले सकते थे, but
No, he's
obviously
capped.
उसको
He got
पता है
Padikkal is capped.
the Sri Lanka tour.
उसको श्रीलंका में मिला.
इधर
अच्छा,
Uh,
but
इधर
हाँ
सबको
उसको but I'm
उसके
pretty sure
cap थी.
Padikkal knows he'll get above 8 easily in the auction.
हाँ.
So
Same
fair
with
play.
Harshal even. I think उसको भी obviously 6 से तो ज़्यादा मिल ही जाएगा.
Fair play to him, and I think it's fine for RCB. It's not a big loss for them. I think उनको मिल जाएगा. They go with more money in hand, and they go with 3 stalwarts again. Same like Lucknow. Bowler sorted है, एक prime 600 run plus. Hopefully
Opener
batsman
Kohli sorted है, middle order में Maxwell sorted
Maxwell
है,
वही.
pace
और Maxwell
Indian
can give
pacer.
you Maxwell आपको 2 ओवर भी दे सकता है, तो 6 ओवर भी sorted है.
दो
In a
नहीं हो
way.
तो उससे
And I
ज्यादा भी कर
think
सकता है.
हाँ वही मैं आपको 6th bowling option की तरफ बोल रहा हूँ. But yeah, I think they have filled the gaps of what they did. Now obviously what happened was previously they always played in AB de Villiers, so that's one spot I'll be interesting to see how they approach this option, because
and I think like
whenever
एक और the big void they will have is captaincy. I think
That
probably
will come. Yeah.
main
So-
target उनका captain होगा.
So talking about the captaincy, I think only 2 teams are looking for a captain. Punjab,
no
I think
more than that.
KKR is looking for
KKR
one
are
as
also
well.
looking, no?
KKR. Oh, हाँ,
KKR
KKR. KKR.
And Chennai might also be looking for one, not for this season, but
But
आगे के लिए maybe.
but I think only 3
They
teams
might.
then. KKR, Punjab, and
Bangalore. Yeah.
RCB. So so it will be interesting whether they decide to make Maxwell captain or
I think
what
he
do you think
actually
their
could,
strategy will be? Like
yeah,
what do you
I think
think?
Maxwell could be captain because he has like Punjab ke liye, he was a pretty good captain. He just led Melbourne Stars, did pretty well. And most importantly, like I think Kohli, even though he's not the captain, will still have a huge say in the process, like who they should make the next captain, like any senior player who has been with the franchise. And I think like Kohli respects Maxwell a lot, and like they seem to get along very well. I think maybe they might try for somebody else, but like उनका वैसा होगा जैसे maybe पंजाब का था with Rahul, the year they made Rahul captain की, they might try for some people, but if they don't get anyone, they know कि चलो कोई नहीं तो Maxwell को captain बना सकते हैं.
Because budget wise RCB have a decent chunk of money. They have approximately around 57 crore.
And for me, someone like Shreyas Iyer fits in the team perfectly, because Shreyas Iyer is the kind of
Kohli
batsman
and Iyer साथ में खेलने लग गए तब तो 120 for 1 score बनेगा.
अरे नहीं, Kohli, I think Kohli will play with more freedom this IPL. He will play his attack.
Last year भी सोचा था open कर रहे हैं, Maxwell de Villiers हैं. I don't think like I don't think at this point his limitations are because of like
Let's
still a good fit for them, right?
Let's
Considering
talk
you have Maxwell
about
in the
Kohli.
middle order. Considering you have
but
Maxwell
I
in the
think
middle order
maybe
who bats
उनको
160.
maybe they might even target somebody like Owen Morgan, more explosive batsman as opposed to Iyer, at least on paper.
I doubt Morgan Maxwell.
And like another like accomplished captain.
But what are the chances of RCB going all in for David Warner? Is that an interesting choice?
I mean, David Warner like is one of the most RCB picks ever. Like for Hamesha they have gone with superstar batsmen at the top and not much else. So I think like that is also possible. And Warner has great memories of Chinnaswamy, of course. In that final.
वो लेंगे ना, South Africa under 19 का player Dewald Brevis.
De Villiers is actually a consultant, so usko De Villiers quotas like, and they'll probably take like 3-4 New Zealanders जैसे last year, because Mike Hesson को अपना quota पूरा करना है.
But coming to New Zealand, do you think that who opens for New Zealand currently?
Guptill is probably not an IPL. Like, maybe Devon Conway might be an interesting pick.
Guptill has registered
unsold. Yeah, he registers every time and goes unsold every time.
But like Guptill का is probably age factor भी है, and like IPL में record नहीं है. But maybe Devon Conway could be a cheap buy जो हर format में is doing really well. Can bat at the top, can bat in the middle order, can keep wickets.
Or some West Indian opener. West Indian opener.
And as even especially in Chinnaswamy, you know, कि batsman maybe इस साल Chinnaswamy में ना हो, but for the future.
But I don't think so. They
in the
will
tournament
look
batsman
at this season and invest, because what we are hearing is that this might be a last mega auction and then there will be a transfer like thing.
I don't
So,
think that will be the case, but could be. I think teams को अभी तक बता देते हैं अगर वो case होता, like
Yeah.
because teams need to know that before.
Strategy.
right?
But I
Like,
think one
नहीं तो
position they don't have is a wicket keeper. So
हाँ
they can, so the foreign wicket keeper maybe, but they can go for Ishan Kishan and open with Ishan Kishan. I think that's not a bad. Instead of Warner, they can target someone like Kishan, जो पैसे में जाएगा. He will go
or
for
maybe
पैसा.
they could bring somebody like Josh Philippe back who was pretty decent for RCB.
even
the
But
season
Quinton de
he's
before.
not like a.
QDK is
But
also
Philippe,
available.
Philippe is not a first choice keeper because he's so unreliable as a batsman.
but
You know, you,
RCB के लिए he kept wickets.
हाँ
Straight
मतलब
के लिए भी कर रहा था maybe.
Because
And
I think RCB looks okay, but then they still have a lot of problems where they will need to spend a lot of money. So thinking like deeply, they will need to spend a lot of money on signing a captain and a good wicketkeeper batsman. Those two, because
and
they don't.
opening partner for Kohli as well. They
What
probably need a more
ये
explosive
तो बस batting
partner
में
while
उनके
Kohli plays anchor.
one quick question: do you think will they go back to KS Bharat as a wicketkeeper?
I think they could.
backup.
But why KS Bharat is
Definitely
like
not first choice.
No, as a first
I
choice.
think उसको
Because
I don't think he's as
it's
good.
it's practically impossible to spend big on a captain and a wicketkeeper. So they have to set that priority where they spend big.
And they also need to sign a spinner. काफी spots बनने हैं.
With
But I
both,
think like
but the
Yeah.
expectation of RCB is so big that we've always seen legends in the team कि हम expect करते हैं कि ये साल भी बड़े नाम लाएंगे.
and
तो
they
बड़े
will
पैसे
like
spend करते
they will obviously like I think they usually go for the big name.
That
And
is why I'm
another,
telling that David Warner might be a surprise pick that RCB really offers, because
and
Warner
another
can
like
become a captain as well.
another recruitment strategy Virat Kohli has had for years is he picks those bowlers for RCB who like do well against him. So maybe we might see somebody like Marco Jansen picked by RCB because he gave Kohli problem. Like we've seen itna time like Zampa before that Jamieson. Tim Saudi, Ravi Rampal, these are like the bowlers who have dismissed
Ravi
Kohli for
Rampal.
the most amount of times. Like Ravi Rampal is top 3 actually. He has also played for RCB. So Kohli often goes for this strategy as well.
But I think
उनको हाँ, they need an
RCB,
explosive opener at the top because Kohli can probably be anchor, then Maxwell will be their middle order pusher. KS Bharat का भी वही थोड़ा odd fit है because he is better or he is also best as an anchor. And Kohli and Bharat
But
can't be your openers.
there are definitely better Indian wicketkeepers in the circuit.
You need like an explosive guy. You can't have Kohli and Bharat.
Ooh. Kishan, that's it.
Kishan, yeah, I think they should spend.
दूसरी टीम जिनके पास सबसे ज्यादा बजट है, they might. I mean, I think RCB will. Like Kishan के लिए, everybody
RCB should
will
take the
go for
risk.
him.
RCB should take the risk.
I think
But
everybody
I
will
think
go for him,
Virat
but I don't think
Virat
RCB
really
will end
rates
up with him.
Ishan Kishan as well. Virat really
Yeah.
likes him.
But they can't
So,
fuck up. The problem is
everybody likes him.
वो starting में उनको उनका bowler spinner एक भी नहीं है, उनको bowling में चाहिए मतलब. RCB are known to a team to always take weak bowling options. So
But I
they
think
can't
up
fuck
they
up with
have
the
like
batting.
started to make it a little more balanced. And RCB ka like domestic scouting has gotten much better as well. So maybe they'll sign some hidden gems. Like we've seen Patel 20 lakhs mein liya tha. Harshal came out of nowhere. KS Bharat came out of nowhere. Siraj they bagged for a long time. Like kafi even like the unknown Indian talent RCB ka kafi acha hai lately. Maybe we'll see some youngsters or maybe we'll see some Karnataka representation.
वो तो आएगा ही, वरना like people in Bangalore like they are
Probably I don't think they will go for Patel again because Patel and Kohli as openers does not work as we have seen. Like it's too similar.
No, but like partnership बहुत अच्छी है उनकी. Like they always give you runs.
भाई
Right?
partnership उसी partnership की वजह से तो हारना
अरे
जा रहे थे end में.
आ तो गए थे eliminator में. सही तो हो गया था.
But that is fine.
8 में से 4th आना achievement नहीं होती.
No, that is completely okay. But
even like Mike Hassan को भी पता है कि they had that issue of accelerating and like उसने publicly भी बोला था that's why they went for Maxwell. I think now they understand that कि
they have to play the latest cricket.
हाँ that एक बार कोहली अगर already anchor है तो दूसरा opener needs to be little bit more explosive.
Yeah. So last question, who do you like? The same which we asked for Lucknow Super Giants. Who do you think will be the top pick for RCB where they will spend? Who will they spend the most money on? give me one name.
Think पूछना पड़ेगा.
It can't be same which you told for Lucknow. So remember that.
I think
Who is
a
your
name you
thought?
threw.
I think David
there,
Warner. I
a
think
name you
David
threw in there,
Warner.
Quinton de Kock I wouldn't be surprised. Keeper and
I
opener.
don't think De Kock is probably. I don't think De Kock will be the kind of player जो बहुत ज़्यादा पैसे के लिए जाएगा. But
Okay.
could be. But I think
But
like they
I
have
wouldn't be
already
surprised.
had
De Kock
De
is
Kock
coming
as well.
home. Quinton de Kock is coming
Uh,
home.
They have already had De Kock once, and they gave him to Mumbai for nothing. So
Yeah,
maybe
but
another player Kohli might target is his great friend Ravichandran Ashwin, jisko he got back into the T20 World Cup setup as well. So
So
Ashwin could be
Ashwin has
another
most
interesting
expensive.
target for
If
RCB
Ashwin
because
gets double
Kohli
digit,
clearly rates him a lot.
One Sid is going with QDK, one Sid is going with Ashwin, and I'm going with Warner. So
And
let's what you're trying to say.
no, let's see.
So that's it for Royal Challengers Bangalore. I think they might. My personal prediction is they might struggle in the auction because they have a lot of spaces to fill, and not
And maybe
because
another option could be Mitchell Marsh, who had a great IPL, and maybe like then they could put him at number 3, Maxwell at 4, and they might then solve that problem. Middle order में slow होने का. I think Mitchell Marsh will go for a lot, and I think Chinnaswamy track might suit
Chinnaswamy
Mitchell
हो गई
more.
ना match. It's either
मतलब
Mumbai or
long term
South
सोचेंगे ना
Africa.
कि यार चलो
After
इस साल नहीं अगले साल की बात.
COVID नहीं जा
So,
रहा.
but I
March
think
might be another because Hessen ke usually like RCB's last 2 seasons they've had majority foreigners, either Big Bash wale log या New Zealand wale log.
but I think RCB will have to have a good strategy in the auction because they will have to be clear on which area they want to target. Is it the long-term captaincy or the wicketkeeper spot or spinner? So they don't have much to play around. Less options might see a premium. Let's see what.
Maybe somebody like Jason Roy even could be an option. Great flat track player.
But let's see. There will be a lot of talking around. But like I personally think that RCB have always gone for like big names. So that is why I'm predicting Warner. But let's see what RCB actually does in the mega auction. We are only 14 days away from that. So let's see. So that was another end to the part 2 of our pre-review of the IPL mega auction. So we discussed about RCB strategy, their retention, and what they look like going into the mega auction. So do share, like, subscribe, and do follow us on Instagram. And in the part 3,
Sala Cup Namde.
Sala Cup Namde might again trend because that is the only trend that they can do.
De Villiers is gone. Kohli is no longer captain.
But
RCB's landscape has changed completely.
The third part, I would say, of 56th episode. In the next episode, we will be discussing about Kolkata Knight Riders, their retentions. And so please do like, share, subscribe, and see you guys in the next part of the episode.